Welcome to Body by Design. I'm your host, Blue Driver, a women's strength training and metabolism coach. I went from years suffering hormone imbalances, looking soft and bloated, to symptom-free and building muscle for a toned athletic physique. Since then, I've made it my mission to empower women to take control of their own health, hormones and body composition. So grab a cup of coffee and let's build your body by design. Welcome back, everyone, to Body by Design. I am your host, Lou Driver, and today I have Anna Hansell with me. Hi, Anna.
Hey, Lou, how are you?
Good. So Anna and I thought we'd get on and have a chat today. We both love having a chat about our story and our journey. Anna is an awesome coach on Instagram, so I'll be dropping her details below. But yeah, she's in coaching now, but she, like most people, have a story and a journey, and I wanted to talk to her about it because I think a lot of people out there find it hard to bridge the gap from where I am now to what you see Anna or me or the coach being. And most you don't wake up a pro golfer. You don't wake up as a professional race car driver. You don't wake up with an athletic physique overnight. Like, you actually have to work for it. And most people have been at the bottom and gone enough's enough and had to dig their way out to get to where they are now. So I thought Anna and I can have a little bit of a chat about that and about her coaching business and the types of people that she is taking in. So, Anna, you're in shows now, though.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Come a long way from where I started.
Yep.
So
before we get into your story, I just wanted to know, what are you doing at the moment for your show? Like, when are you competing next?
So the next time I compete will be season B next year, 2026. So that'll be September, October next year. So I'm in a building phase still now since my last comp, which was May last year. So yeah, still in a building phase. So still pushing weight up gradually, sort of that 200 to 300 grams a week. And yeah, still training super hard, eating lots of good food.
Yeah. And thrown in a new business all on top of it.
Yes, all on top of that. Just throw something else in the mix.
But I mean, we listened to you talk about being on stage. You've already done a couple of seasons. This is your third season you're going to go into?
This will be my third year.
Your third season. How old were you when you first went to stage?
2.
Yep. So it's not like you've always been there thing. So you were 42.
43, yeah.
So, and you're heading into your third season now. But back when you started, did you ever think that you would get to that point of being?
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not. I would have, laughed if someone had have said that you would step on stage to me. And I had been asked a couple of times, I guess, when I first started my health journey about it, and I sort of laughed and went, no way, not in a million years will I step on stage in a bikini and high heels.
Yeah, and look at you now. So that place that we're coming from. So when you first started your health journey, before you got started, what was the point that you were at that went, this is where I am, and no more, I can't do this anymore? Because I think a lot of people hit that with something. Mine was a hormonal thing. I just, like, my hormones were horrendous and I hit rock bottom with that. Where were you?
So my rock bottom was just before my 40th birthday, and I was just in a spiral roller coaster of alcohol abuse. I was on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, really depressed, really down, drinking with binge eating. So getting pissed every night and then binging, waking up the next morning just with, severe anxiety and depression for what I'd sort of done, what I'd eaten, what I couldn't remember doing, and then start the day, and it just was a cycle of that for years, really. And it got, worse and worse and worse, closer to 40, until it just got to the point where I was like, wow, I really, really need to clean my shitty life up. I was unhappy with how I looked, how I felt, and not just physically, mentally. And it affected everyone. Like, I still, had 4 kids at home and a husband and a business at the time. So, it affected all of that. And I was just in a really crappy place. Like, I had irritable bowel syndrome as well, which I'd had for years, really struggled with that. So, come from a very not a good place.
Yeah.
Before before I started, and just, yeah.
That's a drastic change from that to you just literally talking about going on stage and this is, the macro
Yeah.
in the food and all the rest of it. So it certainly has come a long way. There was an in between though. It wasn't like you hit rock bottom and went, right, I'm going to stage. This has been years in
No.
the making, and the decision came to go to stage a lot sooner. But life really wouldn't really be that different from the beginning. It's just a lot more accurate now for you.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
when you got to the bottom and you went, right, I'm going to change, what are the things that you changed?
So, well, I got a coach, and yeah,
Had you
started.
tried anything before?
Yeah, so I was never much of a. I'd never actually tracked food. Didn't even know what MyFitnessPal was. But I'd done plenty of diets previously where pretty much I just starved myself and ate no fat, chicken and broccoli. I even actually ended up in hospital with diverticulitis once,
Did you?
and yeah, and I hadn't eaten fat or anything for months, and I'd eaten so much broccoli, I think, and nuts and stuff that my gut, yeah, was almost just twisted. It was so painful. It was horrible, but it was just,
I've known Anna for years.
yeah,
Anna and I are very good friends, and I've known her for years. I did not know that.
yeah, and it was all diet related.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, I'd just done a lot of those sorts of diets, just starvation, like not. Well, I had sort of reasonably strong
You're doing them
willpower
on
for
your
certain,
own.
but yeah, 100%. And then I would, not eat. I'd eat one meal a day or something, and then just starve the rest of the day. But then I'd, get pissed that night. But they were just the sort of diets I had done. Yeah. So never tracked. So it was really quite. So I got a coach, and that was overwhelming when they were like, right, you've got to track food. But yeah, I sort of threw myself into learning how to do it because I thought, right, I've got to get good at this.
Were you a
So
rip the band-aid off, change everything at once type person? Or were you a like, right, well, I had to learn how to track first, then I had to, and you built, what was your, because I find
yeah,
I get different types of people come in, and some people just need to habit stack because they can't take on too much at once. And then there's other people that are just like, rip the band-aid off, let's go.
I was a little bit rip the band-aid off, I guess, because I quit drinking at the
Yeah.
same time. And this was kind of a twofold thing for me. Taking on a coach that obviously suggested, stop, just cut drinking out just for 12 weeks and see what results you can get with your losing body fat and building muscle. So I thought, right, I'll, maybe I can do 12 weeks. I'd never done it. I hadn't done a day without a drink for I don't know how many years.
Wow.
So that was quite nerve-wracking. But yeah, I think I probably did rip the band-aid off and throw myself into the tracking a bit more to focus on something else. Maybe at the time that did help. But I certainly didn't implement everything in the first week, I can tell you that. But probably the tracking was the first thing that I kind of figured I had to get my head around. And for me, yeah, the easiest way I found, which I sort of can't stress enough to all my clients, is just stick to the same thing to begin with. And you don't have to eat the same thing for the rest of your life, but to begin with, and that's what I did, just, yeah, stick to the same thing to make it easier. And so that you're not in your phone the whole time.
Yeah. You can change it like once a week, like plan a week, and then
Yes.
you're only doing it, and then you've got a week to kind of get your
To
next
think
meal
about
plan.
something, yeah.
Yeah. And it feels
That's what I
hard.
always
It does
suggest.
feel a little bit hard at first, but simplifying it like that and giving yourself some breathing room to do the next one and get it balanced.
Yes.
Yeah, heaps easier.
Yes, because you've got that week planned, so you don't have to think about that. That takes the decision fatigue out. And then, yeah, in that week, you can be looking at planning, what can I mix up, maybe just 1 or 2 meals for the following week. Yeah, much easier way.
Yeah, and suddenly you can just like start bringing in more meals, and all of a sudden you've done so many, you've done like, half a dozen meal plans now that you actually can just do different, like shuffle those foods.
You become a pro at it.
Yeah, easy.
Absolutely.
Once you actually know how to do it, it actually is very simple to do.
It is.
And I don't think much about it now, but yeah, but even just the whole, just eat the same thing every week, like you're talking about, that decision fatigue. Fuckers, we've got enough of that as it is.
We really do, with everything else going on with, families, work commitments and everything else. That's the last thing you need, is to have decision fatigue over, oh my God, what am I going to eat to fit my macros as well today? So yeah, definitely. Yeah, the planning ahead was huge for me.
Yeah, it's not just the tracking, it's planning ahead. Don't try and track on the fly. Plan ahead and eat to the plan.
Definitely, that definite never putting something in your mouth and then putting it in MyFitnessPal. Always the other way around.
Yeah.
always the other way around. Yeah,
And it
that
makes you
was a
think, makes you
game
twice
game
too,
changer.
doesn't it? It helps you think twice about, do I need this?
Yeah, insane.
You can
But
see the
yeah,
data shows you that if you know
yes,
how many calories sustain maintenance, right? So
yeah,
it's even just took maintenance. If you know and you don't want to gain weight, when you go to have something and you enter it in and you go, well, that's going to blow my fat macros and then I'm not going to be able to adjust even bring the
yeah,
calories down. You get to choose, do I choose maintenance or do I choose excess? Because the data clearly shows you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't cheat it. It's, it's basic math. So,
Yeah.
and I think, yeah, that's what I liked. That's what I liked about that.
Mm.
Once I got the hang of that, I was like, oh, this is a game changer. Just, yeah,
Yeah.
plan your week ahead and then eat it.
Yeah.
So it's literally that simple.
So apart from like tracking the food, it's the quality of food. What
Yes.
you're filling those macros with. The way I kind of usually describe it is, your macros determine your weight, but your micros, the micronutrients that you're
Yeah.
filling those macros with will determine how you actually feel, which is sleep,
How you feel.
energy,
Yes.
hormones, all that. So, gut, you yourself said you had a lot of gut
Yeah.
issues. What was causing the gut issues? What helped?
Well, that's it. Well, I think, firstly, eating the pro metabolic way and taking out, all of your crunchy greens that were half raw, which is how I ate them,
Mm.
all the nuts, seeds, grains in my diet,
Yeah.
taking out all of that, I think was a huge game changer to
Mm.
begin with. Like,
Yeah, when
because
your
I
gut's
was eating
already
a lot of that.
irritated, excess fiber. I think as a society, we go from one thing to another. At some point, someone said fiber's good for you, so now
Yes.
all of a sudden, all we do is eat fiber, and it's a
Yes,
really insoluble, irritating fiber, and our gut gets
it
really
is.
grated and inflamed from it, and then we wonder why
Yeah.
we're bloated and have gut issues all the time.
Yeah, or constipated. It's
Yeah.
just a constant. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was definitely a game changer. Taking
Mm.
that out, and that's right. You can be eating 1,800 calories. You can have two people on an 1,800 calories a day, but what that 1,800 calories is made up of makes such a huge difference. Some of my clients now are just kind of, yeah, when they come on board to begin with, don't kind of realize. And then once we get a meal plan worked out with pro metabolic foods, and then they start eating that, literally, I've had some message me within 3 or 4 days and go, oh my God, I'm eating the same amount of calories and my macros, but I'm sleeping better. I've got more energy. I'm happy. They're like, this can't be, how is this even possible?
What is
That,
this black
you know,
magic you speak of?
yeah, what is this black magic you're feeding me? Exactly. And
It
it's like,
is.
well, it's just,
You're
yeah,
at,
that's
you're
what it does.
fueling so for those who don't understand pro-metabolic is about fueling your physiological body with the nutrients and vitamins that it needs. And there is a misunderstanding on a lot of foods that are also bioavailable. So the foods are very bioavailable of the nutrients. To get iron or anything like that out of broccoli, spinach, it's actually not very bioavailable. You don't absorb much of that. And though it has those nutrients, they're also not as abundant. Like you've got to have massive amounts to actually get it. Whereas the
Yeah.
foods in pro-metabolic, they're easy to digest, they're nutrient dense, they're bioavailable. It's like grandma used to cook food, keeping the preservatives
Yeah.
out, staying away from the industrialized oils, the polyunsaturated oils, the PUFAs, the seed oils. You'll hear lots of different
Yeah.
names, but essentially at the end of the day, they were oils made for industry that were then brought into our food chain, and that's why they're problematic. So keeping away from those and the preservatives and stuff, and just downright, if if you don't have gut issues and you can eat, vegetables and sourdough and not have gut issues, great, do it. But you might need to
Yeah.
remove them as well if you've got some gut
Yeah.
issues. So that's the pro-metabolic. It's a lot more, it encourages you to have salt. It encourages the carbs, There's so many
Yes.
things that we have gotten to restricting ourselves in. They've become feared things that our body
Yeah.
actually operates
Oh,
from.
like white potato. I hadn't eaten white potato for so long, but then having, don't eat white potato, but then binge on a tub of peanut butter when I'm pissed at night. Do you know what I mean? And I know so many people do that.
Yeah.
And, that's what I stress to clients. Don't feel bad about it. You're not the only one who's done these things and hidden in a cupboard and, yeah,
Yeah. Or,
hold that out.
that they fear eating potato, but all the packaged goods. And, it's not their fault. There's such a
No.
lack of education out there on it. But if you literally picked up a packet and started realizing, and there's the whole argument, the whole preservatives thing gets me because there's the whole argument that studies show in the doses that they're used within the foods, they are safe.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Our body probably is detoxing that dose. But when it's in every single item that you eat all day, every day. Sorry, everyone, my cat's just decided to join the show. For those on YouTube, my cat, there we go. My Sphinx, Maisie. Say hi, Maisie. No, she's here. She doesn't like anyone during the day, that one. Anyway, I've got another one that loves people. Oh, fuck, she's back. She's a menace on my table. All right, focus. Yeah. Where were we going about? Oh, the additives. Yeah. And when you start assaulting your body with every, like, pick up a can of tinned tomatoes, you would go, oh, it's tinned tomatoes. You turn over citric acid. Citric acid's in everything. And at the end of the day, yes, in small doses, it's fine. But when you are constantly eating foods like that, it does affect your body because it's not that small dose anymore.
That's right.
And your body's constantly trying to detox.
Yeah.
So that is the basis of pro-metabolic eating. When we talk about pro-metabolic eating, I want to point out here, amazing coach going to stage, eating pro-metabolic food. She's one woman that I've seen go to stage and leave stage and come out really quite healthy, has survived the rigors of dieting down to quite low body fat and the stress you put your body under with the really hardcore training. Yeah. And within weeks, your body is bouncing back. Yet you see people that, particularly females, their hormones are wrecked, their gut is wrecked, they're physically in quite a state. Their metabolism is downregulated. They've got a lot of work to do to come back healthy. Yet you've never really had any major problems. Yes, your body is stressed when you come out, but you bounce back really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do put that down to diet, choice of food, not just if it fits your macros. And having enough muscle tissue is another thing. Like, I would never have contemplated going to stage had I not have enough muscle tissue, and you do see that a lot. And that's where, people's calories do have to get super low, crazy low. Yeah.
And the problem with the crazy low, apart from the energy, when we go back to the nutrients, they're
depleted in micronutrients. They may be hitting their macros with, but
there's such a small volume. Yeah, there's only a small volume. So though you might be getting some of it, it's very down-regulated and it's not enough for your systems to function. No. Your body's a very smart thing. It starts pushing it all into what keeps you alive, pumping your heart, your respiratory, all that sort of stuff. Reproductive, digestion, all that sort of stuff. It goes, you don't really need that to live, and it shuffles into the thing.
That goes out the window. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so when you get to low calories, but you haven't needed to do super, super low calories.
No, not crazy low, thankfully. Yeah, I do feel for some women that have to get that low. So no, I was lucky, and that's the name of the game, to get to as high calories as you can in the off season, still, while pushing really hard in the gym. And so then when your prep does start, you're not coming already from a place that's low.
Yeah. And, it's, you can still take that same principle to the everyday person and go, you need to fuel your body with the right nutrients. And particularly if their body's down regulating and we see them come in and they're actually only able to consume 1,600 calories, 1,700 calories, and they want to diet. It's like you've got nowhere to go from because you've got no muscle. Metabolism is down regulated. You've got to do a little bit of repair work first and get all those nutrients up. So the diet side of things is really, really important.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think when I started 6 years ago, I started on 1,800 calories.
Yeah, there you go. And how much do you eat now? To maintain, because we won't scare them with your building calories.
Yeah, to maintain 2,800.
Yeah, so that's still high.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Anna's got a fuck ton of muscle, people. She really does. Amazing.
And I'm actually, at a lower body weight now than I was when I started on that 1,800 calories too.
Yeah.
So just very different body composition, which is, why I always stress to build muscle. It's always the answer.
But even me, like, obviously don't have as much muscle as you, but I'm on 2,400 calories to maintain. So it actually doesn't take a lot to get you to a place where you can be eating. And it's just so much nicer having a diet where you don't have to think about every mouthful you put. Like, I fucking like food. I want to eat as much of it as I can. I always feel like clients get a lot more flexibility once they hit 2,000 calories, it starts to become,
Yes.
realistic to stick to macros and still go out and have a dinner out or something like that and be able to choose wisely but still
It
enjoy
does.
it. Whereas
Yeah.
a bit lower than that, it is a bit more restrictive.
It is a bit tight and restrictive, yeah. But like that's it. It's only until you sort of get to your goal, like you said, and are able to then maintain, and then you can sort of take the foot off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think then you've already learnt the skills how to track and eyeball food a lot better by then too, which makes life heaps easier.
God, yeah. And even like
And
when you go
training,
out, then even that's more accurate when you eat and you order, you
yes,
understand it better and you know what you can and can't, what maintains you. And I think you actually start to in the beginning, I think the choices when you do things like that is all about, okay, well, I have to hit my macros because I want to lose this weight. But then in the end, it becomes, I'm not ordering that. It's going to make me feel like shit. That's actually how my brain has switched now. It's
yes,
actually not about meeting my macros for weight or whatever. I know what sustains me, but I feel good when I'm sustained.
that's
Like
right.
I make the choices now based off of the fact that I feel really good when I make those
Yeah,
choices for that.
that's it. You want to come home and then have stomach cramps for the rest of the night because you've eaten some shit with a heap of,
Because you
you know,
chose the chicken and salad over a good steak and potatoes. I know what I prefer
exactly,
anyway. Not only do I feel
exactly.
better, it's bloody better to eat.
Oh, yum. Yeah. Who doesn't love steak and potatoes?
Oh,
It's like
yum.
the best.
Yeah, it
The
is the
best.
best ever.
But yeah, I mean, training's, I guess, the same, isn't it? Like once you get to, if you get to your goal, to maintain what you've got isn't that hard. Like it's,
Still working on it. I
once
don't
you
know if
work
I'll
on it
ever
and
get to
yeah,
a place where I go, oh, I've got enough muscle. But like
I'm
not
never going to be
everyone,
there.
not everyone
Yeah.
desires to be,
No.
and that's the thing. You can when you do this process, you can stop training hard like that at any point. You're not going to wake up one morning and go, oh my God, I overshot. I've got too many muscles.
Trust me, that's never going to happen. Yeah.
Waiting for it to happen, damn it.
I'm still
But
waiting for it to happen. Yeah, I
yeah.
wish. I wish.
So, but at any
But
point you can stop. But when you do stop at that point, it's so much easier to maintain.
yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like I said, it really is. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get to that point that I'll be content.
Yeah.
But
But not everyone has to do that. I think I'm the
no,
same
you
as
don't.
you. I
Yeah,
don't think I'll
you
ever
don't have
stop.
to. You've just got to get to that body composition you're happy with, and
Yeah.
then maintain it. And by then, the going to the gym, 3 times, 4 times a week, it's already a habit. It's already something that you enjoy.
Mm.
You're going to do it anyway.
And you say like 3 times, 4 times a week. That is actually all you have to do. People think that they've got to
Yeah.
be in the gym 5, 6 days a week. Even to build
No.
muscle 3 or 4 times a week is going to do it for you. That's
Yes,
only if
100%.
you train right.
Yeah, yes. That's the other thing. You have to train right and you have to push hard enough. And especially and tell my clients this starting out, like send your videos. You have to send your training videos in. It is so important because when you're doing your lift, even if you're videoing and watching it yourself, if you're inexperienced, that's not much help. Even when you're experienced, if you're not videoing it, you can have a completely different idea how it's looking and feeling, and then you watch it and go, oh shit, that's
The amount of times
it's
I've
really a
gone,
game
yeah,
changer
nailed
to
that, get
send
out and
videos.
look at my video and go, oh,
Yeah,
that actually wasn't that great. Yeah. Or even the other way around, you go, fuck, that just felt hard and messy and stroppy. And then you look at it and you go, oh, okay, actually, it wasn't that bad. So
it wasn't as bad as
your feelings in train. And I mean, I've heard this spoken about a lot with food and data. Your feelings don't change the data. The same with training. Your feeling in training doesn't necessarily reflect what's happening, especially when you're first learning.
That's right. Take the feelings out of it, and like you said, look at the data because that does tell the truth.
Yeah.
And sending videos in, like I know in the beginning, I don't know how many hundreds of training videos I sent to Craig and countless and countless. And I even remember in the start getting my first feedback and thinking, God, I thought I was doing really good, and I got quite offended. Like I get the feedback and God, they're just like saying I lift like shit, and I took it not as I should have. Like I didn't take it as constructive criticism. I just took it as a bit offensive, I suppose. And once I learned to not take offense to it and see that this is how I was going to learn to be a competent lifter.
Yeah, it's a skill. You don't just know. It's not just like pick the bar up, push the machine.
It's just like easy. Anyone can do it. Well, it's actually, I mean, it's not the most technical thing you'll ever learn to do.
No, when you get
there is
guidance,
skill.
like you always progress so much quicker when you've got guidance. So film your
So much
videos and
better.
have a coach or someone to review them and give
Someone
you
to review them, yeah.
because the sooner you get the basic form, and really you can get the basic form nailed down in a couple of weeks, like just so you can actually, because once you've got the basic form, then you can start pushing that
Then you can
intensity,
progress.
pushing that weight.
Yes.
Because whilst you're actually struggling with your form and you're not able to move as much weight, you're not growing as much muscle. So you want to move past that form part to then go to intensity and go, right, now start pushing weights. I want to see you go to the place where you had nothing left. You couldn't pick that dead. Really, for me, failure of a deadlift is you try one more rep and it doesn't come off the ground.
You can't pick it up.
Yeah,
that's right.
Learn where failure is. I know you do both men, you coach both men and women.
Yes.
I will say I only do women, and from the perspective of women, I actually find a lot of them just don't understand how strong they actually are.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. They've always got, more in the tank. And then I think as they start to find that, it's so rewarding watching how good they feel about themselves and go, oh my God, I could do that. And then they sort of go, reflect back from a few weeks or months before and go, oh, I don't think I was pushing hard enough.
Yeah.
And I explained to them all, that's just get used to that because you're going to feel that forever. You're always going to look back a few months and go, I don't think I was pushing hard enough. And it's just, you're just getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And it feels so good to move that way. And it's so good watching people realize that, wow, I actually did that too.
Yeah. Oh, it's empowering. It really is, especially as a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I think it's super important. Any of this, the macro tracking, learning the nutrition, the training, I mean, they're all skill sets. The training in particular is a skill set. And the fastest way to get, because, changing your health and your body and, getting to where you want to go is always longer than what you expect. It's not an 8-week program. I know you promote that as well. It's not a program. This is a journey. I don't know. Give it 12 months. 12 months of really trying and going through the process. But to do that, get a coach so you get past that initial learning phase. So you can allow the coach to teach you to train with intensity. So you're getting the most out of it and you build that muscle as quickly as possible because it's slow as it is. We don't want to slow it down anymore.
That's right. It's slow enough as it is. You're right. And the training intensity is huge. If you're just going to go in and do 3 sets of 12 on everything every week, nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to change.
But until you're taught another way, most people don't know another way. So
yeah, that's right.
To help you through that part because it's just such an important part.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of things that you need to learn on the journey, yet when it's just put forward to you and you've got that little bit of guidance, it takes away the thinking, it takes away all the concern about it. You're safe, you're moving well. People are always confused about even macros and that. Well, have someone show you what sustains your body. And everyone, there's plenty of online calculators and you can probably work your way through it, but it's going to be a slower process. You need to individualize it for the person.
Yeah.
Because everyone's different, different metabolic rate, different amount of muscle mass. It all changes.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. It makes a huge difference to have that guidance. And it makes you feel a bit more secure.
When you did your journey, so all these things are things that you're teaching, they're things that you went through. What do you reckon was probably the biggest roadblock for you?
Well, it would be changing habits, I guess. So I have a lot of people say to me, oh, you must be so disciplined, you're so disciplined. And I'm like, well, really, I think discipline only comes in at the beginning of any new thing, doesn't it? You've got to be disciplined to start doing that new thing. But
discipline implies that you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, and all it is you're just trying to create a new habit. And then once that's a habit, and a routine, well, it no longer requires much brain power, discipline, any of that. You just do it on autopilot.
And you actually just enjoy it.
Yeah.
When you get results, you actually enjoy it. So I don't believe it's discipline anymore. In the beginning, you're doing it without a result. You don't see results immediately. once it gets to the point, so you continue to use discipline, like you build that habit, it becomes a discipline, like it's discipline, and then it becomes a habit. And then all of a sudden, it's not even habit anymore. You actually, wow, I feel good. I'm sleeping. I have more energy. Hormones are more balanced if you're a female suffering out there. Weight, the body fat's coming down. You're feeling strong in the gym. You enjoy the actual art of
you got more confidence. You're happy to go out and get dressed up and and then all of a sudden it's certainly not a chore or a discipline or anything. You're just like, well, I'd never go back the other way.
Why would I go back to what I had? If this is what it takes to get there, like it just becomes something that you enjoy. And sure, we all have our days where we go, I can't be bothered. Sure.
Yeah.
We all have that. But as a general, now it's not even discipline anymore. It's what I enjoy doing. It's important to me. I don't need to be disciplined because it's actually really important to me.
100%. And you've just started to enjoy the journey. And like you said, because of the results, because of how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
You just start to love it.
What would be your biggest tips for someone who's coming out of drinking? Because that would have been really hard, drinking every day.
Yeah.
And then someone saying to you, just try 12 weeks without drinking and see how you feel. And did you fail? Did you have micro fails and just get up and start again? Or did you?
No, I didn't actually.
Stop?
No, I went cold turkey and haven't touched a drop since. So it's been nearly 6 years. Oh, yeah, it was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. But I can honestly say doing it wasn't as scary as the thinking about doing it. You know, the worrying about this is going to be the scariest thing, this is going to be so hard. Then when I actually did it, and I guess because I did change other habits at the same time, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then not very long, I guess, into my journey, I was pretty adamant. This is me, yeah. Like it would have been, I don't know, maybe 6 months, and you couldn't have paid me to have a drink. And that just continued. But yeah, probably the hardest thing is, and like we always say, it's your environment. Who do you surround yourself with? If you are a big drinker, 9 times out of 10, your circle of friends are big drinkers. You probably go to social functions and put yourself in places where there's lots of drinking because that's what you do as a drinker. You don't go to things that you can't drink. You don't go to the cinema of a night because you can't drink in the cinemas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you do have to make some lifestyle changes and take yourself away from some situations, I guess, to make it easier in the beginning. And then the other thing is explaining to people. People are so, especially in Australia, it's just our culture.
Oh, isn't it? They're very concerned. It's like you're missing out if you're choosing not to drink. And they're very concerned for you.
They're very concerned that, like you're going to be in all of this trouble because you're not drinking anymore. And I think, so what I did in the start was I just made up some bullshit story to people that, and I mean, it probably wasn't bullshit to a certain degree. I just said that I had these really big stomach issues happening and the doctor said I couldn't drink for a while. So I made that story up because all of my friends...
If it makes it easier, why can't you make a story up?
Well, it did. And then when I said that, they're like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. And they accepted that. Had I have said, I've quit drinking, I would never have heard the end of it.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it? And look, it's an awesome strategy. I've personally never been a big drinker, so it's not something that is hard for me to do. It kind of just weaned out. I think I drink, maybe have 1 or 2 glasses of wine once or twice a year now. I really it's not that I don't, I don't know, it just faded out of my life. It wasn't actually an issue to begin with. Yeah, so I was going somewhere with that, and I actually have just drawn a blank. Don't you love it?
Well, you were saying that you didn't, I mean, you've never been a big drinker, so I guess it wasn't you've always been able to go to social events and not be a drinker. So I
didn't need a story. It was just like, oh, well, you know.
You didn't need a story. That's right.
But when you've been a big drinker, probably people are expecting it to begin with. But I think it's
really,
definitely. That's what I was going to say. It's really crazy that people need a story because the person that's coming in and going, why aren't you drinking? If it's like, well, I'm fucked up, that's why I've got to stop drinking, the doctor said so, then that's like, oh, yeah, of course.
That's okay.
I just want to feel better about myself and not drink. That's like, what's fucking wrong with you?
Yeah. I'm just trying to clean up my shitty life. Yeah, they don't accept that.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, they don't accept that, but you can if a doctor says so.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's great, like giving you that scapegoat because we are in that culture. I think food's another thing as well. Like people get very social around
was the other thing. Learning to, take my food places. That's always awkward to begin with. Same
You
thing
don't have to
until
do that forever, because I think when your
No.
habits change, you don't go to things that have got as crappy a food. So
Yes.
when you do go out where food's involved, it becomes easier to choose. But in the
Because
beginning,
your choices are different. Yeah.
but in the beginning, taking your food, and it does feel a little bit strange to begin with. Now I love
It
the fact
does.
that I've got food prepped and I walk out the door and I've got food. It's all
Yeah. That's it. It makes life so much easier. You don't have to.
So what did you say to people when you would take your own food?
Similar story. Yeah, I just made up another story that
Yeah.
I just had to eat certain foods and stuff because of my stomach issues, and
Yep.
they accepted that. The odd time I did try and sort of come out and say, "Oh, I'm on this new diet," you just get eye rolls, and
Yeah.
so I thought, well, I'm not going to mention the word diet. And then, of course, as you know yourself, not too far along, it becomes, well, it's not a diet, it's just a lifestyle. So you don't worry about it. And I mean, the only reason, obviously, I still take food everywhere with me now is because I want to step back on stage again and compete. I certainly don't need to be that strict. I could quite easily go, ages without tracking if I wanted to, because I can sort of eyeball, like yourself, pretty much every food. And
you've learnt what sustains you. That's what
I've
the tracking
learnt
does.
it.
It's not just all about the calories and the macros. It actually
It
teaches you
yeah.
how to. We've lost being intuitive, right?
Yeah,
We don't
exactly.
know
That's
how to
exactly
be
right.
intuitive. Like, we don't understand what fuels us. We don't understand what feels good because we actually don't feel optimal. I can guarantee anyone who's not living like this, you do not feel optimal. Even if you're sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I am," and I looked
I
at
feel
your
great.
diet
Yeah.
and the rest of it, I could look at you and go, "There's still room for improvement." You just don't realize until you get there and you go, "Fuck, you can feel better." I used to think having a nap at 3 o'clock in the afternoon after I finished work was
Yeah.
normal because work was hard. No,
Normal.
but
It's not. Yeah, you're not meant to be that tired of an afternoon. No way.
no, but I
But you
don't.
don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. So people have lost that intuitiveness. So I think,
Yeah.
taking your food in the beginning and learning like that. But like you say, you now want to be very specific. So your food needs to be very specific. I've done
Yes,
my
because
time.
I'm training for a specific goal. That's right. Yeah.
But I don't really track anymore. When I maintain and when I'm at maintenance, I just eat.
Yep.
I'm going to go into a little bit of a deficit because I'm going to go to Europe in June. So I want to look a little tighter, nothing drastic,
Yeah.
but I'd like some room to eat over there. I will probably eat.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm okay with that. This is one of the great things about being able to own your body, isn't it? Like, I know I can
It
go
is.
away, I'll eat in a surplus, and then I can just come home and get rid of it. Yeah, I'm actually not
And be
concerned.
confident about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not have to go away and uncomfortable and like guilty all the time because you've overindulged
Women
or
who look at
something.
this, oh my God, and they spiral because they come home and they've put this weight on, and it's frightening for
Yes.
them because they don't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
But, so I'll get specific for that and I'll start tracking again. But I don't really track now. So it's not something that has to be done forever.
Not for the rest of your life.
Months,
No,
12
it doesn't.
months, taking your food places, tracking your food, just 6 to 12 months, lifting, eating good food, and then the freedom will come from there. That's where it becomes sustainable.
It does. And, for some people who sort of think, oh, that's too hard, it's like the saying goes, choose your hard, being uncomfortable, having no confidence, feeling like shit in your 40s, not wanting to go out, like you said, no energy. The list goes on and on. That, to me, that's hard.
That's hard. So,
That's hard.
and my thing is that your body is simply a symptom of your lifestyle and habits.
Yes.
So whatever
100%.
the body, if it's a confident, healthy, wonderful body, it's because of the symptom of the lifestyle and habits. But if you don't have that body, it's because your current lifestyle and habits are creating a different symptom. So
That's right.
have to change your lifestyle and habits. There has to be something different. People have looked at my physique and my transformation from where I came to there, and they're like, "Oh, do you think I can do it without tracking macros?" No,
you can't.
I'm sorry, you can't get there without doing that. Once you get there, sure, you can keep it without necessarily tracking.
Yes.
But to get there, no, you need to learn. You need to learn food again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I stress that too. That's, very important.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
definitely those components to it. And, and that's what you're taking through into all of your coaching now. So your
Yeah.
clientele with coaching, you're doing men and women. Is there any
Yeah.
specific focus or you're just doing general population?
Yeah, just general population. Anyone. I mean, as you know, it's pretty much the same system for anyone. Body
Yep.
recomposition. It's all, So yeah, use all the same systems. So men and women, obviously, mostly my clients are, sort of in 40s, 50s, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you're open to anyone who's looking for a body
Open to
composition
anyone?
change.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you've
100%.
heard from Anna, you can come from, well, alcoholic, depression
Yes.
medication, all that's gone, overweight, all of that is gone. And look at you now
Yeah.
on stage. But, you did your time to get there. It doesn't happen overnight. So
Yeah, that's it. But
certainly
yes,
is
I'm
possible.
living proof. You can do it. Every time, someone goes, "Oh, I couldn't do that." I'm like, "Well, you could.
You could.
You
You
just
just
gotta
got to
want to do it."
choose the right things to do it. Have someone guide
That's
you
it.
and make the
Have
choice
someone
that
guide
actually
you.
want to change.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like, as you know, the best decision you'll ever make.
Yeah, definitely. I don't regret it. I've never heard anyone who got there to say that they regretted doing it at all.
No, no.
So, well, just being cognizant of your time, is there any last minute things you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was
I'm going
good.
to pop Anna's contact details down below. You can find her on Instagram at Jacked for Life. There's some
Yep.
scores in there, so check the notes
Yes.
below. But it is Anna Hansell, Jacked for Life. And thank you very much for joining me. It's been awesome chatting with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Lou.
See ya.